Hello, Riven mains and Yasuo mains and League summoners. I am the Nightwing here, coming at you guys with a West Week 5 power rankings. Yes, that is combining EU and NA and going over who is the top Western teams at the moment. Now, there is been a bit of time since we did a West video when the league first started, and I think that a lot of people were going off of week 1, week 2 results, which really don't translate all that well when the splits just evolve. You have a patch that you're going to be on, and then when you get closer to the halfway mark, you end up getting another patch, and then teams can look substantially different. But these are the Western teams that I thought stood out amongst the rest and kept that level of consistency. The only team here that is lower actually started to kind of falter, but from looking at the actual gameplay they've actually shown, they're still going to be in the top 4. Yeah, it's right. There's only going to be 4 teams. I know there's this big thing with NA quality and stuff like that, but if you really look at some of the LEC teams, it doesn't look good either. That's not being biased. That's just looking at the games. So I just kind of want to put that out there. Yes, the quality of North America looks highly questionable, but some of the things in LEC look highly questionable too. Did you see the last Schalke games I've watched? Yeah, those looked very highly questionable. Have you seen some of those Misfits games? Highly questionable. So these are the teams that have still, from starting of the split till now, have kept a level of consistency. Some have kind of had a little bit of stumps here and there, but let's see what I've actually came up with. Starting off with G2, I think that this is a no-brainer that they are still the top team in the West, actually. You look at just how they're playing the game, every single player is either at least top 3, maybe, or top 4 in their role, and most of the players are playing very well together. Caps is an absolute animal in the mid lane, taking his Fnatic MVP performance and putting it into G2 is making the team actually incredible. You look at Jankos, who in pretty much in my opinion should be the front runner for MVP. You look at players like Wonder, who is just an absolute solid rock in the top lane, still outperforming many of his top lane competition, pretty much except for like Cabochard. He's been on weird picks that he's kind of garnered up with the Sejuani top, the Karma top, and there was Jace games where this dude was like 50 CS up. He's been absolutely incredible at avoiding ganks. Team fights have been absolutely crisp and clean, pairing up his TP flanks very well with the team in order to actually prepare dives. Or even Mickey and Perks in the bot lane, which should not be underestimated considering the fact that they've actually been very good this split. Perks is still trying to convert his solo queue ADCs into the stage ADCs, but he can also play mid laners in the bot lane as well, and we're seeing the mid laners in the bot lane stay, so that is also giving them a added benefit of actually being a better team. And if you look at the records, they've only lost 1 game, and to be fair, Caps got counterpicked in the mid lane, and I think that if you look back when G2 played Origin the first time around, let's be honest here, they got clapped themselves. G2 have looked head and shoulders the best team in the West. In my own personal opinion, they've had a few bad games, but then you just see how mechanically gifted some of those players are, where they're able to just crawl out of those situations based off of in-game decision making and in-game decisions that really do impact the game in a certain way, and the level at which that they can crunch it out is just honestly really good. Then I have Team Liquid. Now, Team Liquid, in my own personal opinion, if they played right now, would still lose to G2. Now, we're seeing Team Liquid pretty much have one of the more weaker early games than the other teams on the league that I have right here for the West Week 5 power rankings, is that I think that they're honestly all pretty good at this moment. You know, you have Double F and Core JJ getting 2v2 kills in the bot lane, generating massive pressure. Core JJ in the NALCS is probably going to be MVP, which is nice considering the fact that he's played absolutely incredible and consistent his entire time he's been here. Jensen is still the same Jensen. I think people are a little bit of overrating his performance that he had against TSM. Keep in mind, Jensen and Bjergsen have been duking it out and have been the consistent best mid laners in the league. I don't think Bjergsen getting lucky in one of his games because Broken Blade was literally carrying the game amounts to Jensen being worse. That's just, we don't go off of biased, we go off of what's actually been shown. throughout a lot of the competitive history amongst the two. Then you look at Xminty, who's been absolutely an incredible, solid performer for the team. He's been honestly translating all of his resources into the right players, and even Impact, a player that was highly criticized last year for not being able to play carry top laners, has actually been able to sufficiently play carry top laners. He's had like one bad game on them, but that's nice considering the fact that if you want to go to the international competition, he's going to have to bring that, because the players that can play the carry top laners have obviously exposed him in the past, so he's working on that, and it's actually being shown quite well. Then I have Cloud9. No bias on Cloud9 here. I think that if you look at the way Cloud9 is playing around the map and the way that they are controlling the game, even if they get behind, they still find TP flanks. They also find picks on the map to get themselves back in the game. Zeyzal and Sneaky have been just a solid, consistent bot lane duo. You look at Licorice, who, in my opinion, is playing just as well as Cableshard on Vitality. I'll get to Vitality in a moment. You look at Fenskaren, who's probably the weakest jungler in this Western power rankings for teams, but you look at what he's able to offer to the team, it's just honestly really good. Then you look at Niski, who's been, C9 players haven't, and the community for C9, and me as a C9 fan, we haven't really noticed Jensen being gone. That's because Niski has been playing absolutely incredible. Then you look at some of the games where even if he doesn't get ahead, the thing he does is that he's able to translate and roam a lot around the map, getting himself and his team a lot further. And I think that when you look at the way C9 control Baron, like the other top teams for I have in the West, it's just incredible for what we have. And they also team fight and have that massive, great synergy going for them as well. So, yeah, if you look at just all the other Western teams compared to TL, G2, and even Vitality, who I'll get to right now, they're just playing at a completely different level. And the fact of the matter is, it's consistent. It's not really necessarily about them being all necessarily star players. It's about, are they doing this consistently week to week on a weekly basis? We've seen that from all three of these teams. The other teams, and the reason why I didn't exactly put them here, is because we're seeing some slumps. We're seeing some really questionable plays around the map, which is making you think like, you know, are they really top, or did them facing weaker teams put them in a different light than what we're actually, what's that word I would use, is what we're actually trying to see out of them based off of the results based you got was only the result you got because they faced weaker teams. We've seen these teams in the league, pretty much C9, only losses have come to CLG and TL, who's also higher than them. G2's only loss came to Origin, and Origin also looked wildly inconsistent. So that's one of the other reasons as well. And then you have the last team I was going to put here is Vitality. Now, most people would probably question, why is Vitality here over a team like Schalke? Well, Vitality have shown a lot more consistent decisiveness around the map. What it looks like to me is that Schalke themselves, if they don't really get a lead with bot, or if Memento really doesn't kind of, let's say, int in the early game, they don't really do anything, and they've lost the last 4 out of the last 5 games. That's pretty alarming. But you look at a team like Vitality, and even when you have certain losses to them, they've only really lost to top tier teams. They've only lost to G2, Schalke, and the other game to SK and Fnatic. Fnatic is also on an upward trajectory, but that can be debated whether later on if that was a win not based off them making mistakes, or Fnatic just, you know, turning it on later on in the split. Vitality have some of the best in their roles in terms of players. You look at players like Cableshard and Jizuke, which are easily top 3, top 2 in their roles. Mowgli, I think, is adjusting very well to the EU scene. I think he's playing pretty well. Aside from this last week's Elise game, he's been playing pretty well. The problem with Vitality is that you look at the bot lane, and it doesn't really stack up to the other bot lanes. And even, yes, Caps and Mickey have been playing better. You look at Attila and Jackro, they've been just the weakness of the team, but we've seen them just easily beat up on bottom tier team bot lanes. Even the game where they lost against SK Gaming, Attila and Jackro did very well in that, and I think that Vitality, along with G2, are the standout top 2 teams in the LEC at the moment. And I think that TL and Cloud9 are the absolute standouts for the North American scene. All these teams that, even when they do fall behind, are actually proactive and try to get things done around the map. And then we see their wins come out in different strengths. You also seen this week in Vitality that Cableshard himself was easily taking over team fights, getting massive CS leads, and dictating the team. And you see the synergy built-in vitality that even if they get behind, they're always trying to play the fight style, always trying to, at one point, always trying to fight you. It doesn't matter if it's 20 minutes of the game or it's 40 minutes of the game. I know Yamato has talked about they're always looked at that, but that's what we see in the competitive game, so we have to kind of go off of that, right? And you also see that the team itself really functions around playing hyper aggressive, just like these other teams, and that's why these guys are getting all the wins. So that is my LOL West Week 5 power rankings. Let me know who would you put here, and let me know what I've missed and what I could improve on in the future for this. So that is Insight for Nerds. I'm the Nightwing signing out. Let me know who you would put here in the other West top teams right now. These are the other teams that I think have stood out, and the teams that have kept this level of consistency up. I did get a bit of alarms for Vitality this week, but next week that could be a lot different. Some teams, even Cloud9 and TL, have had, pretty questionable weeks. Sometimes G2 has had a questionable week. I don't think that's, not fair to just kick them out because they've had one questionable week. I usually kind of let like 1 or 2 questionable games kind of pass, but it's okay. Let me know who you put here. Like, comment, subscribe. Most of all, enjoy Insight for Nerds, the Nightwing signing out. Tonight, me and JTH will be doing a MVP for the NALCS, who was our mid-season NA MVPs. I got to kind of set up the video for that, and you guys will see that a lot later. Thank you guys for watching. Bye. Have a good day. See you later.